Alrighty, you look a little bit calmer, my dude. Are you willing to give us a discussion? Detective Gumshoe. Hey, it's you, pal. You here? Ow, okay, then I got assaulted. That's a good time. That's what I needed more of in my life. As am I. I don't think you needed to whip him to let him know that. I didn't do it, pal. I swear on my honor as a detective. I really didn't. Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, detective. So unless you have evidence that you have an honor as a detective, then I have no idea if anything is true. Once the investigation is fully over, and should we find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you. Have a heart, pal. But you're not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about if you really are innocent, that is. That's right. Hey, pal, go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, will you? I would have done so even had you not requested me to, detective. Now, give me the information! So you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you do to make him so angry? I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out he was mad at me because on my very first day as a detective, I reported in at my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. And by the time I got down to Criminal Affairs, I was really, really late. And that's when he gave me that huge speech. I remember doing the same thing exact thing in elementary school. Aww. On the first day of school every year, I always wind up going to my old classroom. Well, that's just adorable. How pathetic for the detective to be compared to a mere school child. Hey, it's a thing, it just happens. I don't really feel like it deserved a big scream fest. You claim to be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. However, when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom? Earlier at around 3:20, and from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial took a real crazy turn, so I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday. And yet, something did happen to him, correct? Looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty. Ow! Your words sting worse than your whip. If only it were a whip, pal. So, it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard, huh? Alright then, what's our next move? Now then, Detective Gumshoe, is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Nope, not a thing, pal. In that case, allow us to take a look at what you are carrying on your personage. Hey! Wait! You can't do that! And yet she just did. You done got mugged. There's nothing of any particular value here. Well, my handcuffs and badge were confiscated by Detective Bad, so, you know. Where's that open envelope I see sticking out of your coat pocket? Hands off, pal. Just show it to us already. Why the violence, though? Annual bonus check within. $5 total. Except there's no check inside. What kind of bonus is $5? You've had your look. Now give it back, pal. It's my first bonus as a brand new detective. I just got it and cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know. So that envelope is really special to me. Now give it back. You don't need rubbish like this. Don't worry, we'll throw it away for you later. How could you? Oh, Francisca. Okay, apparently his annual bonus is important. Noted! I'm sorry, but I need to take him in for questioning now. I think I've asked him just about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there is one piece of evidence I should reconfirm. Officer, I ask that you wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe. Understood, but please make it brief, sir. It's my ass on the line, not yours. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is the truth. Okay. Then let us do that. I guess maybe I need to present his testimony? Let's go with that. You told me earlier that you heard no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct? No mistake about it, pal. And you are also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either? Is that also correct? Yup, not even a single ant passed through that hall while I was on duty. But I already know for a fact that there are ants in that particular room. You do realize that the lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself. Huh. Oh, but it's true. I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. I bet the killer found a way to kill those two guys that beyond what I can even imagine. So, he intends to continue telling this ridiculous lie. But why would he do so, given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant's lobby is in order. And so we shall! And Kay do a sneak? Ah, you! Whoa! Did she just kick him in the junk? Raspy! Okay, but why though? How could you have not noticed that coming? Wasn't that the child I changed money for earlier? I can't imagine it was anybody else. Yeah, that definitely looked like her. Okay, kids can sometimes be so cruel. Looks like she dropped something. 'Twas a Swiss roll! Maybe we should arrest the girl. She might turn out to be a valuable lead. I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. Oh, dear Lord. I believe I've asked all that I need to of this man. Now for Detective Bad and the judge. Oh, we get to talk to the judge? We have to confirm who is correct, the judge or that scruff face, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway in front of lobby number 2 next, then. I suppose so. Shall we head on over, Francisca? I find it hilarious that he came to that conclusion already, but he decided to give it to her anyway. Alright, so out of my way, you bunch of nerds. And then stuff in the hall happened, and there's a bug in my room! It's like a moth or something. So, did you see anything else? No, I don't think so. I see. Well, thanks for your cooperation. Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law. The judge is a lot shorter than I thought he'd be. Either that or Detective Bad is just absurdly tall. I have to see him next to Edgeworth again. I'll ask again if I have any other questions. Anytime, Detective. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a few loose ends I have to tie up. I guess Detective Bad is just really friggin' tall. Or Edgeworth. Yeah, no, I think that's about right. Oh, you're that new prosecutor Mr. Von Karma recommended, right? My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So dignified. And I'm Manfred Von Karma's daughter, Francisca Von Karma. I'm set to become the successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor. I see, Mr. New Prosecutor. Whoa, okay. Ack! I bit my tongue. Are you all right, Your Honor? Please feel free to refer to me as just Miss Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine. Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of a proper title. Ho-ho! Very well then, I shall call you Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine, sir. Now, about your earlier testimony. Yes, what about it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw. All right, after all, it's my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law. I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor. Now, first thing I'll need to do is figure out that detective's exact movements. Investigation has begun! Let us do this thing! But first, Francisca, what do you have to say with your face? What do you notice with your all-seeing eyes? This is a pretty spacious hallway, but it's nothing compared to the ones at home. Indeed, because Mr. Von Karma's house is a bit too spacious. However, even with this much space, there's nowhere for that scruff face to hide. Well, other than the crime scene just beyond those doors. Francisca, I believe it's much too early to draw any conclusions. It was already proven that Detective Gumshoe was in this hallway the entire time. Now all we need to do is gather more information. And to do that, I'll just have to examine everything I see here by myself. Francisca will mildly help in some ways. Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder? Do you suspect me of something? No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor, but the fact that you yelled that doesn't help your case. Very well, you may continue with your testimony. Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after. Oh! Man, the judge is a massive dork. Oh, I had no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony. I'm beginning to sense that I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. It's funny because he's literally one of the only 2 judges in the entire country. Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to the restroom. Gross, but fair. If you go take a look through that window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That is the window to the men's restroom. I've never understood bathroom windows. In other words, you can see clearly into the hallway from the men's restroom. But why would you want that? Why? I mean, I get needing to, like, ventilate or air out a bathroom. Trust me, I get that. But aside from that, it's just a little strange to me for them to be so easy to see into a bathroom. That's like the opposite of what you'd want. When I was going into the restroom, that Detective Gumshoe, is it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machine buying something from it. However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore. Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally. Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my composure. It was really suspicious! That's what my finely honed judge's intuition said. Although, well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. Ho, ho, ho. Apparently, this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm, but he does understand the concept of having an amazing beard. That's probably all I'm going to find out from His Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, may I return to my other duties now? Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor. Ho, ho, ho. Anytime, Mr. Edgeworth, anytime. I gotta go get ready for Christmas and what have you. The judges in this country seem rather friendly. Yes, if not a little wishy-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts. Alright then, you doing okay down there? Did you find something, officer? I think there's a $5 bill back there. Come on, just a little more. Is there no one working on this crime scene who isn't the total waste of living tissue? Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here. Ain't that just the roughest of stuff? Can I at least inspect this vending machine? It would appear that this vending machine smells snacks and various other foods. I was right to think it was interesting! Haha! Just lovely. What will they think of next? A vending machine? Crazy. Don't be a jerk in court, like these beef jerks. 1 packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk, 1/2 pint for $7. Stay neutral as a Swiss do until the end with these, for $6. They're awfully overpriced. The lineup is simply awful. I don't know, this seems like a pretty fair spread of food. Speaking of snacks, I wonder if that Swiss roll the little girl dropped is from this machine. I was wondering about that myself. That would make the most sense. Alright, I admit I'm mildly curious. Stay neutral as the Swiss do until the end with these. The end of what? Well, I assume it means the end of the trial. I suppose this means that one should eat these during a recess? You can't eat during a trial, so I suppose the only time you can eat them is now, huh? I wouldn't mind if you wanted to eat one now. They come in packs of 2, after all. We're in the middle of an investigation. Besides, I don't have $6 on me. If you want, we can pool our money and buy a pack together. If I have to split it with you, then I don't want it. Alright, but that clearly means that you do want it. Alright, if I'm gonna get funny commentary on all the foodstuffs from Edgeworth and Francisca, I'm sorry, I have to find out now. Defendant's fresh milk. What exactly is that supposed to be? I was gonna ask the same thing. I bet it means that the milk is freshly milked by various defendants on trial right now. No, I think it might mean that this was milked right here from the various defendants. Edgeworth, I hope to God that's not the case. Miles Edgeworth, you can't possibly be serious. Of course not. He hesitated. He hesitated. I mean, Francisca isn't right either, but dang. Also, why is the OJ so expensive? When it's looking bad, blind your opposition with some OJ. Are they promoting violence? Don't worry, my whip will make sure that anybody following this advice won't be for long. If somebody just runs up and throws orange juice into Francisca's face, they're gonna be messed up. Compared to the sting of a whip, the sting of orange juice may not be so bad. A ham Sammy! Don't let the prosecution and the defense make a ham sandwich out of you? Sounds like it's directed at the ham of a judge. Well, it certainly isn't directed at me. I can outmaneuver him any day. I enjoy this commentary, I really do. Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. I see. Miles Edgeworth, wouldn't you agree that it's a very clever pun? Do you really think they put that much effort into the product name? Even a foolish fool could understand the foolish thinking of the fool who made it up. You're acting so foolishly that I got so thoroughly mad and I'm now utterly famished. If you wanted a pack of these, all you had to do was ask like a normal person. She hungry. When you're in hot water, you might need a hot dog. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that one. Huh. Looks like this slogan was decided through a public contest. And the winner was... Prosecutor Winston Payne? What a pathetic slogan. No presents at all. Now, if it was up to me, it would read... If you leave matters in Von Karma's hands, everyone in court will be found guilty dogs. Yeah, you might want to workshop that one, Franny. Ha! Overruled! Oh, that was cute. Okay. Anything else to look at here, or was that purely for funsies? I mean, I'm okay with it being for funsies. That was, in fact, heckin' fun. Okay. All right, now I guess we gotta talk to you again. Detective Bad, I have something I wish to inquire about. Hey, how about doing some actual work, you? I wish to inquire into Detective Gumshoe's movements during the recess. You're getting in the way of the investigation. I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself. Plus, I still hold investigative authority. So yeah, shut up and give me your information. So, I hear you were the one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here. Faraday. That guy was just accused, you know. I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective's instinct told me. And yet you did nothing! A lot of good it did you. You couldn't even protect one lone prosecutor with it. Okay, well, suddenly terrified. Francisca, I think you need to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, Detective Bad. Please continue. That was one angry guy face, my goodness. Here's the phone on the first floor and called the precinct. I told them to send somebody over. And that detective's the one that showed up. Only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad? Yeah. I was waiting for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to these defendants' lobbies together. Ah, look at him go. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you, who was giggling like a psychopath. She told us that Faraday was really mad and that he dragged Rel off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. I didn't see any need to investigate that, and that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt them. So, what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside. Interesting. Either you're lying to me, which you might be, or you has really been kind of, like, ridiculously suspicious? Just throwing that out there. And around what time did all of that take place? Let's see. I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway. Not once. Oh? And how can you make such a claim? One of the guards out in this floor's main lobby swore to me he didn't. If the detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to? That's simple. He must have gone into lobby number 2, just as I suspected. You and I, we were in lobby number 1 next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe. It would seem that I'm still missing some key pieces of information. All right, tell me about the gunshot you heard. Detective Bad, you also heard the gunshot, did you not? Yeah. I heard it when I was in defendant lobby number 1. That's why I came running towards lobby number 2 together with you. How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene? Less than a minute. What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot? And I grabbed the big lug who was just walking around in the hall and raced into lobby number 2. And that's when we discovered the bodies. In that order. That makes you the discoverer of the crime scene, right? Yeah, I guess it does, little miss. I'm about to become a prosecutor very soon! You will treat me with the dignity I deserve or else. Oh, he dodged it! You wave that thing around anymore, and I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss. You wouldn't dare! Just joking. Wow, Francisca's been bested. Detective Bad is really something if he can make Francisca behave, or at the very least, just nullify all of her attempts. Are we about done? Is there anything else I should ask him about? Let's see. Time he heard the gunshot, place he heard the gunshot, situation around the gunshot. I guess time he heard the gunshot makes sense. I'd like for you to tell me the exact time you heard the gunshot. And it was around the end of the recess, and the trial was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding, but I got the sense he wasn't gonna show for the handoff. So I figured I should go get him or he'd be late. And just as I thought that, bang! The sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums. So I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart, huh? Alright, that's probably useful. Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste. Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of the door doing nothing. That's not a counter-argument. I get the sense that he's somewhat investigating this crime scene, but only somewhat. Or rather, that he's keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? Detective Bad, may I ask that you cooperate with us for just a bit longer? I don't have anything else to say to the two of you. You guys were the ones who said you wanted to investigate in the first place. Fine then, be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. Come on, Miles. You may no longer be willing to help us, however. May I ask for the forensic scientist's cooperation? Do as you like. All right then, that'll have to do. So this whole situation has been interesting. I also noticed a piece of, something. Was that gum? I won't rest until I've inspected all of the things! All right, well, first things first, what's this all about? What is this? It's a pink-colored piece of trash made of rubber. Oh! Kay had a balloon at one point. That makes sense. Huh. I feel like I've seen something like this before. Well, all I see is a piece of garbage. But you know, the fact that there's litter running loose inside the courthouse, it's simply unforgivable. So you assault Edgeworth for it. It's not like it was I who littered. Get out of here, moth. Rubbish belongs in a rubbish bin. The violence! Gagged! Why must you be this way? All right, well, I see a balloon and what appears to be a cactus. Gag! What's the matter? I pricked myself on one of the cactus's needles. Well, that's what you get for trying to give it a high five. Trust me, I get it. They look like they're asking for one, but it's a ruse. Didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp. Well, what did you expect? It's a freaking cactus. Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one of these? Anyway, the cactus seems to be unrelated to our case. Fun fact, I literally caught a cactus in my hands once. I regret that day greatly, I assure you. It appears unrelated to our case. Do you really think so? Because I believe this cactus sitting on the windowsill is completely related. All right, well, I can logic up a little bit there. Oh, well, then I look forward to your explanation on how exactly it is related. All right, let's see. I guess we can see the bathroom. So that window on the other side belongs to the men's restroom. I can't see it. At your height, I'm not surprised. Boom! She's small. And she angry about being small. I guess short people have feelings too. Aw. All right then, so what's the deal with all these dang ants? The ants are hard at work carrying their food home. It's a marvel that they can pick up such comparatively large objects to their size. And if you want to carry the mighty Von Karma name and not be squished under it, you'd better work extra hard, just like these ants. The same goes for you, Francisca. I got the mental image of literally, actually picking up and carrying around Francisca. I don't know if that was a good thing to think, but I did. Ew, okay, well, I think I found what they were looking for, but also a handprinto. The dirt on this bench smells like some sort of sweet substance. I can't believe there is someone going around dirtying the courthouse. For shame. Calm down, Francisca. Now take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you? Well, I suppose it could be. Which means that perhaps we can lift the prints of the person who sullied this bench. I see. And then we'll know the identity of our mystery slob. You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out who this handprint belongs to? Sir, yes, sir. I got the results of the fingerprint analysis, sir. And do we know who they belong to? Sir, the fingerprints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Oh, interesting. Good work, officer. All right, it is him who is the Slobby Joe. Fair? And there you have it. Yes, I suppose so. Now we know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench. I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways. All right, but I also see the thing that the ants are going after. What are these black speckles? They're called ants, Francisca. I believe they don't have those in Germany, apparently. I believe it's a pile of ants eating away. Oh, that detective. He claims that not a single ant slipped by him, and yet here's a window hill full of them. Or a whole hill of them, whatever. Point is, I whip you. Why are you hitting me for? As a replacement for that pathetic detective. Perhaps I should add this deduction to the detective's growling tab of pay cuts. I almost called it the growling tab. Anyway, I wonder what the ants are eating. From the looks and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll. Aha! Oh! Oh! I already got it. I already got at least a something here. How's Edgeworth? The courthouse is to be kept pristine at all times. Then why are you hitting me? It wasn't me that dropped food on the ground. The courthouse must be kept clean. Ow! Why though? Why are you this way? Okay, all right. Well, okay, so here's something I noticed. Let me take a look at this thing real quick. Yes, we already looked it over. We don't gotta look at it again. Okay, but the Swiss rolls, $6. Gumshoe said he had no money to his name aside from the fact of this one that he got $5. That's not enough for the Swiss rolls. So where did he get extra money? It's easy. Who asked us not that long ago for $1? Kay. Boom. Which means, I guess, Kay was here, and for some reason, Gumshoe doesn't want us to know that she was. Okay. But I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. All right, then. It's time for some logic up in here. Okay, let's see. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. Well, pink piece of trash and windowsill cactus make a lot of sense to me, so just gonna go ahead and do this real quick. Yeah! This pink rubbery substance. I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a popped balloon. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend the windowsill cactus. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. Ya-ta-ta-ta! All right, then. All right, then aside from that, what exactly... I guess vending machine and maybe the Swiss roll crumbs? Connect those two things together as in it came from the same source? Yeah, okay. These bits of chocolate and cake, could they not have come from a Swiss roll? A Swiss roll? Why would the courthouse sell a thing like that? Francesco, we just talked about this. It may not seem like the right venue, however, it is being sold right over there, as you can tell. The vending machine? Ah, I see. Ah, we're reading it again, eh? 2 for $6. Talk about expensive. And yet they're even pointing it out. Yeah, I got it. Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and chocolate bits were found in this hallway suggests that they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this machine. I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Oh! I get it. Okay. Yeah, so basically, I think, considering how tall Detective Bad is, and how he can only just sort of see through that window while standing up, I bet you, because, you know, of the handprint, Gumshoe was sitting down while he was eating his cake. So then the judge looked over, and it looked like Gumshoe wasn't even there anymore. There you go, that explains it. Naturally. After all, I'm here, aren't I? Detective Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. Yeah, there you go. You wouldn't have been able to see him. And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench. Like some kind of massive nerd. How could he have not cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable. Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made the mess in the first place. Anyway, if it was indeed Detective Gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts. A contradiction? Where? I guess you'll find out. Or maybe I'm going to tell you now. I don't know. I think I'll look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order. Really? Okay, sure, I guess. Oh, I can deduce now. Then yeah, deduce! That's a $6 Swiss roll, and he ain't got that much money. I can't believe Gumshoe murdered Mr. Faraday for $1. That's the only thing that makes any sense. Eureka! About Detective Gumshoe's finances. He said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny on his personage. Just how poor is that guy? As if his bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. Meaning Scruffy must have bought the pack somehow. Indeed. The detective should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is how? This is the most daring and interesting and intensive mystery I think I've ever had to even conceive of. Alright then. That explains some things. I believe I now have a very firm grasp on what happened here. Well, I do too. Alright, Francisca, would you care to share what conclusions you've come to? Why should I do that? We're still in the middle of a competition, you know. We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first, so you go ahead. All right. It's almost cute that she's going this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Very well, but first we need to pay his honor a visit to correct his testimony. Yeah, we gotta let him know the facts. I got some facts for you, Mr. Judge. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up. Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect? In a sense, I suppose you could say that. Even you, a judge, is nothing but a common witness before a Von Karma. Silence in the courtroom, silence, I said. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Member Von Karma by Miss Janie's prosecutor. Oh, God. You bit your tongue again, didn't you? As a defender of the law, I could never give false testimony. Just because you gave false, I mean, as we've seen many times in the past, just because you said something wrong doesn't mean you're lying. It just means you didn't have all the information yourself. You can even place me under oath if you want. Very well then. Your testimony, if you please. I'ma prove it wrong. Man, it's strange seeing this happen, though. During the recess, I went to the restroom. To pee! There's a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. Interesting design for the courtroom, if I'm being honest. As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. A detective that goes missing while on duty? That sounds mighty suspicious to me! I mean, under normal circumstances, that would perhaps be the case. Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm? No! I'm the judge. This is what I do. I'm so used to simply listening to testimony that I got caught up in the excitement. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun now, in that your testimony is full of beans! Garbanzo variety, not Jerry! Alright, and yes, I said Jerry, not jelly. I did that on purpose! Okay, anyway, let's see here. I believe what we need to do is just... You know what? It's really none of my business, and I shouldn't, but... Why did you have to go to the bathroom? Your Honor, why exactly did you pay a visit to the restroom, if I may ask? Well, isn't it obvious? What else do you go to the restroom for? Or maybe... I knew it! You suspect me of some sort of tomfoolery, don't you? Please stay calm, Your Honor. This is going to be much harder than I anticipated. I'm sorry. You're right, I need to think things through with a level head. I'm just nervous because so much has happened today with the trial. Let's see, I announced a recess and a time for us to reconvene. But having done all that, I still wasn't able to go to the restroom right away. And why couldn't you? Mr. Faraday had been accused, so I had paperwork to process regarding a new prosecutor. Once I had finished that, I was finally able to make a mad dash for the restroom. At least he stayed consistent on the going to the restroom part of his testimony. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, anyway, okay, I think I know what I gotta do. All right, when he was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. I'm gonna go ahead and say the fingerprints makes the most sense. Objection! I'm afraid I've got some facts for you. What was that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony? That's literally what you're supposed to do, though. Ha! I'm just gonna keep wagging my finger. If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I myself never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by. Ha! Miles Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is a real life. You literally did the same thing, though. This is what some people may say is the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? The party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness. If you must know, the uncouth bench sullier has already been placed under arrest thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor. Oh? Oh, well, that's good. But who was it? I'm not gonna question the fact that apparently you arrested somebody for making a mess. We were able to discover something from the smudge on the bench. Namely, Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Not happy with commuting just murder? He had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty! Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that this action is related to the double murder. What do you mean? I believe that the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, as you did attest to him standing next to it. and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. Which legally, in the eyes of the law, is not a crime. The cake crumbs and piece of chocolate on the floor under the bench, and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusion to be true. Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom? It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself was unable to see out of the window. Ow! Delayed action! It was delayed, but it still stung. I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. I don't know, I thought it was funny. Basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom. Smug. It seems that you've made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, how would you even know? Yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. Heggerbra! Do you finally see, Your Honor? You're full of nonsensical poopy language. Your testimony has just proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time. Just dang went all hold it. Sorry. What? I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Here, let me try that again. Hold it. All right, that's slightly less enthusiastic. Is there something of value that you'd like to say? Yes, actually, there is. I remembered something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time. Even if we overruled him, he'd just keep on talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right? So they say, so they say. I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean that the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forget to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. Dang, son! How was that? That is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others. Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time? I'm gonna be honest with you, your second testimony was a whole lot more important and useful than the first. I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words. I'm sorry. But honestly, I thought that sound was just a noise popper until just now. Now that he mentioned it, right before we restarted the trial, he did talk about that. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up if he didn't. By the way, was somebody there celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Oh, it was a balloon! Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson, the most critical point of this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway? And whether the lines up with when the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your testimonials. All right, methinks I'm going to have to start pressing some stuff. Okay, I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom. It's not just possible, it's the facts. All right, well, let's talk about it, eh? As we established, you went to the restroom during the recess. However, at what point of the recess did you look into the hallway? After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. Maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened? Yes, that sounds about right. Smug. Just as I expected. What were you expecting? And I demand to know what that all-knowing smugness is for. Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony. All right, if you insist. All right, I know what to do. Let's see, I looked into the hallway about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. But the gunshot came, basically, right, but yeah, the gunshot was right before the trial was about to start again. So I say thee nay to that noise with a wig-wag. You're on. I cannot allow you to make an objection. What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection. Egads, I've been overruled. Yeah, funny how that works. Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste, and trust me, I enjoy the taste of Swiss cheese. It's good in sandwiches. What do you mean by that? You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Manfred von Aggen! Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you bite on this? I don't think he actually hit him, though. I see you have no mercy for the elderly either. Oh, no, she did. You no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca. Huh. Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back. With your height, you'd need a step ladder for to accomplish that. Damn! Oh, she's so small. Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet, I'll have you know. I can still hear just fine. And I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own 2 old man ears. Huh. Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad. And according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. The jams are playing. This time it's Francisca on the piano. Ha-ha! How do you explain this glaring contradiction? That can't be! And yet it is, as I keep swatting them off. Unfortunately, that is the truth. But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot. The sound of the gunshot. We keep returning to this point of contention. And that piece of evidence. I always did wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what the gunshot the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard. Now listen to this sweet jam! I don't know, sorry, I just really enjoy it, and I'm always talking over it, so I wanted to actually hear that, this breakdown point. It's really good. Anyway, it was a balloon! Luckily, not balloony, but still. I found this object in the hallway earlier. What is that pink substance? It may not look it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon. I see. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon into the court record? Sure, why not? Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony. Papa! Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct? Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. But smug. Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that you can figure out the rest out on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot. You did say it sounded more like a party popper than a gun. But what manner of trickery is this? That was a good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified. Yeah, sure you would have. Care to elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins? Very carefully! Well, to be honest, I did think that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. Who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this? To be 100% fair, that is unusual. That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with courthouse. Confetti? Now that's an entirely different thing. I want to trade these coins with you. She had a balloon. She was incredibly precocious. Or precocious, precarious. I don't remember the word. The balloon that girl was holding. It explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy. Well, who knew that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. I'll see to it myself that he is released. Wait. There's still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe. But why? I thought we just cleared his name. Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. All we can do is say that we cleared up what was basically your accusation. Technically, he is still a candidate, and, it's possible he did it. The only thing I can do for now is to continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway. Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom. Sorry, I bit my tongue like 3 times today. I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case, or my name isn't Edgy McMiles. Bring in the Gumshoe! You met with a tiny child! Why are you hiding her? Is she living in your coat? No, she can't. She kicked Edgeworth out of the business, so she can't be in there. What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I already told you a gazillion times, pal. I didn't do it. I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe. You and your haircut. No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that. No. I'm the judge around here, and I'll be the judge of that. Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental? Yes, well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe, I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part. Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We've yet to prove he is completely innocent of this crime. By my beard, you're right. I guess so. What are you guys talking about? In any case, I would like you to testify as to your actions while you were on guard duty. And please, remember you are not on trial. This is all just as a part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony... Whip-a-doo! I didn't even do anything yet! My whip will object loud and clear. If you're found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood? I got you, pal. Thinking back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony, it's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. And if I can't break his lie, then we may never get a break in this case. Alright, give me the info. I'm gonna tell you how you're lying. I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bad's orders. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on, until I heard the gunshot, I was in the hallway the whole time. On my honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal. I see. He's still singing the same tired tune. In that case, I'll just have to change the melody. Like a virtuoso. Anyway, I know he's lying, and it's time I pulled the information I need out of him. As I move this coat off of my chair. There we go. Alright then, so we know for a fact that you, in fact, did other stuff, so, yeah. Okay, as soon as I heard it, you went to the lobby. From that time on until I heard the gunshot, I was in that hallway the whole time. Let me hear a little bit more. You claim to have been in the hallway the whole time. However, is it not a fact that you did something while you were in that hallway? Of course I did something. I got the door at lobby number 2, pal. What else? Very well, then. And what exactly does guarding the door entail? Well, to put it simply... Oh, I know. It was my job to stand in front of the door without moving an inch. Oh? Detective Gumshoe, you mean to tell me that you didn't take a single step away from the door to lobby number 2? Is that really what you wish to testify to the effect of? You got it, pal. I didn't take a single step away from that door just like I was ordered not to. Bruh. Even Judge Judgington doesn't seem to think that that's makes much sense. We're all not okay with this, Gumshoe. Why is everyone so quiet all of a sudden? Because we're all in shock and in awe of your utter stupidity. Scruffy! If you're going to lie, at least tell us a more believable one. I whip your face! Ah! But I'm not lying. I should hurry up and bring this insipid testimony to a close. Like, straight up, 100% Honey Nut Realios. I gotta ask, man, like, why are you being so secretive of this? Is it to make it so Kay isn't suspected of the murder? I don't think anybody would. Regardless, let's see. Where's that handprint? There we go. Objection. So, yeah, that was easy to solve. Man, that's so much smug in one case. I have an objection. What is it, pal? Detective Gumshoe, I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere. Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special Swiss rolls, right, pal? Precisely. In that case, I suppose that you also recall the Sullied Holloway bench. Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did that. Detective Gumshoe, you know you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like this. You inconsiderate, slovenly pig. I whip at thee. Ow, I mean, riding crop at thee, whatever. I promise to clean it up later, I swear. Now then, shall we get down to business? There are Huns to fight. About the fact that you didn't move even a single step from in front of the door. If that were the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of Swiss rolls? Arr! Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step from in front of the door, how did you manage to get the bench dirty with your grubby hands? I whip you again! Agamagan! It appears that Francisca's whip could do more damage than my words alone can. All right, I confess, pal. I was hungry, so I bought a pack for myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if anyone found out about me eating on the job, so I didn't want to say anything. Well, unfortunately for you, I saw you do the whole dastardly deed. I clearly saw you buying a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine. I saw you hit the buttons. I was there. I was behind you the entire time. Ow. Ow. Ow, I hurt my arm. Ah. Okay, I'm sorry for lying. But that's all I'm sorry for, you got that? Because I'm not holding anything back, except for the stuff I'm holding back. That last statement may sound like it makes sense. However, there is something I don't quite believe about it. Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us? Of course not! I've got nothing else to hide, pal, except for a tiny goyle. Huh. Oh, if only that were true, Detective Gumshoe. But it is true, pal. I swear there's nothing else. Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you're aware of the price of a pack of Swiss rolls, correct? Remind me again, pal? That vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs for 2 Swiss rolls for $6 a pack. It really should just sell 3 for 1, you know? And yet, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right? Oh. Let me ask then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation to that? Grrrg, I told you I bought it myself, pal. There wasn't anyone else in that hallway with me. So I murdered a man for $1. You would do it for less. So there's no one who could have helped me buy it. I know he didn't do it. Obviously, Gumshoe's a nice guy. Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof that there was someone else in the hallway, don't you? Correct? As if you could. I mean, what are the chances of that? Oh, wait, you do? Of course I do. Ah, dang how! What proof do I have that there must have been someone else in that there hallway? Obviously, it would be the fact that a Swiss roll fell out of that girl's pants. Or I guess her shorts. But regardless, pants and shorts are the same thing, basically. Hey, you showed that to me not 2 seconds ago, pal. Ah, I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls. Wait, if you didn't buy it, then that means you must have stolen it. You're a thief! Let's arrest him! What? I would never do such a thing! All you liars are the same. You started as thieves. You're under arrest, pal. I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start out as liars. And in the case, what does that say about you, detective? This particular Swiss roll was dropped by a certain someone. Oh. There were 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them, but you then gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you? No way, pal. You got it all wrong. I ate both of them. I was mad hungry. Egads, tiny child! Oh, not this time. Yo, she's in an action stance. She's ready to rumble. It would appear that we've caught you at last. Hey, don't you do anything bad to that girl. It would appear that they do know each other after all. So, why do you continue to come up and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow? I have a name and it's Kay. Kay what? Kay Faraday! Faraday? Are you perhaps Mr. Faraday's daughter? I'm not a you! I'm Kay! Kay. You know, good little girls don't kick other people, especially not in the junkus. Especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like the way you do. Well, then you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister. Gummy? My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe. What a cute nickname you've given him. Gummy didn't do anything wrong! Okay. It appears that I will need to speak with her in a bit more detail. Rah! Oh, dang, she's gone feral! All right, then, hang on. All right, yo, tiny child. Now then, Kay. She just hissed! Oh, that's actually hilarious. She's like a stray cat. I wonder if I should feed her something. Oh, I can give you back your Swiss roll. There you go. You've been having a bit of a day, I would imagine. Okay, I promise to give this to you if you calm down. Oh, a Swiss roll. Yeah, it fell out of your pants after all. It really belongs to you though, doesn't it? Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy. Oof. Francisca also says oof. Oh my. Your father, he's... Ah! Don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know yet. Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking. Oh, that's really sad. About how Daddy's... He's not here anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't protect him. Okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna... That's a very understandable reason to cry. I don't think anyone's gonna be mad at you. It's all right. Let it all out. Your father just passed away after all. I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into fine ash on that nightmarish day. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now, to have this happen right in front of me. This child, I feel a certain shared fate, a common bond between us. It's almost like Batman and Robin. Miles Edgeworth, what sort of gentleman are you? You gonna just stand there and watch a lady cry? Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Okay, here. How about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes? Quiver. Honk! No! My cravat! Don't you blow your nose on that! Oh, that swung it around into a funny situation. I feel better now. Thanks. Oof. Now you're all snotty. Alright, but I suppose maybe we can talk. Okay, are you going to be alright? Yep, I'm already alright. Somehow, I highly doubt that, but I'm not going to push it. I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers. And you're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right? Yeah, that's right. She does, man, she puts her all into those bows. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still gonna keep all my promises. You're a very brave girl, Kay. You're a very good child for keeping the promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you didn't cry, just for you. Wow! Everybody's being nice to Kay today. I'm glad. Like, Edgeworth and Francisca, neither of them were ever completely heartless. They may have been rough around the edges as they aged, but you could tell that both of them were good people even back then. They just needed the right, situations to bring it out. That's actually really nice. Thank you very much, lady. It's nothing. I'm only telling the truth after all. It would appear that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Francisca is sympathetic to Kay's feelings. I also like to think that Francisca just might not be a horrible person deep down in her soul. That's just my personal feelings on the subject. Kay, what kind of person was your father? Daddy was a hero of justice. His job was to catch all the bad people in the world. So to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are in a sense, as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals. Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, Swiss rolls. Oh. I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy. So I've been working really hard. I see. And what have you been working hard on? I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together. A promise notebook? May I take a look inside, Kay? Sure, okay. It appears to be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Mr. Faraday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of a man he was. This little notebook just might come in handy later. Can I actually maybe read that? That'd be nice. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard and become a hero just like your father. Hang on, can I look into that maybe? What promises have you made? Let's see, promise 1. Never take things from a stranger. Promise 2, never go anywhere with a stranger. Promise 3, always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Promise 4, never cry in front of strangers. Promise 5, always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. Daddy's job is to make sure that everyone follows the rules. Okay, be a good girl and promise that you'll keep your promises to me, okay? Those are good rules. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think this Faraday guy was on the level. Or at the very least, he definitely loved his daughter. I'm gonna try. Okay, so I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero too. Yeah, you're really cool too, Gummy. Yeah, aren't I, Kay? What is with the two of them? I hand down verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero too. Yes, and thanks to your oh-so-heroic testimony, you almost painted that detective as a vile criminal and sent him off to jail. Really sorry about that. Gummy is not a bad man, okay? She is ready to do all manner of kung fu. That poor judge. He's being treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay. Yeah, we're friends. In that case, would you mind telling me a little bit more about him? Yeah, let's talk about that. So I take it that you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier? Yep. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway staring really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi. And when was this? Huh? Oh, before everything got crazy. How long were the two of you together? We only talked for a little while, and then we went on our own ways. That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it. Oh? Which means we've now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right? You got me. I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister! Very well, then. I'll just have to speak with a good detective in private later. All right, then what about these dang old Swiss rolls? Were you the one who bought the pack of Swiss rolls, Kay? Well, I didn't really have a lot of money. And I somehow made $1 out of all the pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one. Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. And that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct? Yeah, thanks a bunch for doing that, mister. Sure. But let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough, correct? Well, that's why... Hey, if you bully Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal. Need I remind you that you're the one currently under arrest? Whippata! Gagabragan! I sense that Kay is going to be less than forthcoming with this question. Sorry about your roughly thing. Yes, well, now that it's positively drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay, I have a spare. So here, you can have this one. Wait, really? But Daddy said, never take things from a stranger. Ah, it's one of the promises you made in your promise notebook, correct? Yeah, look, see? It's right here on this page. Yep. All right. Well, I'm still glad that I read it. All right, then. I'm not giving this to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean, and then give it back to me the next time we meet. And that's what she gave him? Aww. She held on to it all that time. Okay. Well, Daddy said I never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers. He really does have a spare. That's kind of hilarious. Now the Detective Gumshoe. Uh-oh. And I believe it is now crystal clear that you were with little Kay in that hallway. Oh. I told you to stop being mean to Gummy. You're gonna get absolutely bested with junk kick kung fu. How's Edgeworth? That is still something you have yet to resolve. I beg your pardon? You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us. That's, well, Gummy, don't tell me you lied for my sake. Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay. Ah, so that's why. So, what was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying? If you can't explain that, then you can't call this a perfect investigation. His reason for lying is very simple. What? Here's what I believe to be his reason. From simple observation of the detective's actions and his interactions with Kay, it's obvious the detective was lying for the young girl's sake. And this piece of evidence will show you exactly why. Which piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay? I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably the promise notebook. Take that. Because I believe she may have technically considered, I guess because of I don't know, I'd say you shared the Swiss rolls. I don't think you got something from a stranger. Mr. Faraday and Kay's promise notebook. Well, how does that explain anything? If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay. What the foolishly foolish fool's fool of a foolish reason for a fool? I slap at thee! Agabragan! Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you? Because I'm your friend, Kay, that's why. Gummy. At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? This is no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods. I've been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and that snack machine was taunting me. But all the cash you had on you... Oh, but all that cash you had on you was $5, and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in that machine is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls. Yeah, but then like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. She's very small. I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. But I only had about $1 in coins. So we pooled my 5 and her 1 together, and bought a pack of Swiss rolls together. But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. So then Gummy said, Mr. Faraday's one scary guy when he gets mad. Don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me, so you didn't really get it from me, you know. Hey, see, there you go. He told me it'd be okay. And he gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy. Who knew that Scruffy could be so considerate? Indeed. Detective, I take it that you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together? Yeah, we split the other roll and ate it right away then. The sweet taste of that cake's chocolate, I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal. Anyway, Kay, I believe this also belongs to you? Oh, that's from the balloon I popped. It's bad manners to leave garbage lying around, Kay. I'm sorry. Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. It was sitting high up on a windowsill where you couldn't see it. So, just this once, I forgive you. But that balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. And because of me, Gummy dropped us half of his Swiss roll. Wow, you really got me there, pal. That's adorable. So I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. And then I saw you picking on Gummy, mister. So you kicked me, is that it? You showed out a feisty one. Really sorry, mister. It's all right. I'm perfectly unharmed. You never planned on having children anyway. What about the Swiss roll? Would it be all right with you if I held on to it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges and free to go? Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay? Of course, I promise. Now then, I believe we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of his duty. Which undeniably yeah, he just straight up has an alibi now because of Kay. That Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders. Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime. Okay, so she definitely did it. I've been feeling this way for, like, ever, but no, she is definitely the person who does it. I thought, well, maybe Detective Bad, but he's so blatantly, obviously, like, scary looking. Yeah, no, it was definitely her. What do you mean? It's quite rude to eavesdrop, Miss Yu. And, yeah, cool, yeah, really hilarious. Yeah, you know, it actually is massively rude to do that, and that's funny, I guess. I'm getting lectured on manners by a girl with a penchant for whipping people. Okay, fine, that's mildly funny. How dare you talk back with such insolence? You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not that bad guy. Well, what have we here? What's a child doing here in a courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child in. Run, Kay! Run for the hills! Miss Callisto, that girl is Mr. Faraday's. I know, so what? You think that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run wild all around the crime scene? This isn't the crime scene. I think it's actually quite dangerous for her to speak nothing of getting underfoot. I suppose you're right, however, as long as we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, Detective, you were in front of the door to the lobby number 2 the entire time, correct? Yeah, but you see? Isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? He's the only person who could have gone to lobby number 2 at the time of the murders. Ah! I have no counter-argument to that. Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest. Yeah, you really are very proactive when it comes to covering your tracks, aren't you? Yeah, but the investigation is far from over! Oh, that's right. I was gonna speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard? I suppose it is. Well, as someone with more experience in law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence. Oh, Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. Ah, don't worry, she's inevitably gonna end up getting arrested by the end of this chapter, so I'll have the last laugh. That is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Karma. Down, Tigress. Now then, I've been looking forward to the results of your investigation. You're really not, because I'm gonna prove you did it. So, we're back to square one. Actually, this is our last chance. And I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all of the circumstantial evidence. The investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we've yet to inspect. It's where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime, lobby number 1. And you better believe we're gonna go and investigate that mess. Can't stop, won't stop. Let's friggin' go, people.